All right, let's do this. Happy Thursday, Thankfulness Thursday. Good day to flex our gratitude muscles. Just a quick reminder, why do we do what we do? Pretty simple. Our neurobiology adapts to repetitive experiences, and that certainly holds true for traumatic experiences, the things that stimulate anxiety, depression. On some level, the brain just gets really good at doing that. And so what we're doing here is we're counteracting that by intentionally giving our brain some stimuli in a direction of our choosing. And obviously, gratitude is one of those foundational practices. Everything that we do here is just really, I think, ground floor for anything that has to do with like positivity and just allowing our nervous system to be more and more familiar and acquainted with what it's like to actually do that. So it's like going to the gym and working out. We're working at our brains here. So Thursdays like to do a thankfulness practice. So quick reminder, what is gratitude? Here's a definition, my definition. So first part here, gratitude is an embodied experience, right? The idea is not to have it be just a mental exercise where we say, yeah, I should feel grateful for that. It's actually feeling it, like really slowing down and steeping in that appreciation of whatever it is that we're focusing on. And it involves an awareness that something good has happened to us, that we are the beneficiaries of either someone being kind to us, or the sun shining, or waking up and looking around your house and going, how lucky am I to have a awesome roof over my head with a fridge that works, all that kind of stuff. So just noticing like the embodied experience of what it's like to be aware that you're benefiting from something. And then once I got this last part, it really changed my gratitude practice. This idea of I had nothing to do with it, right? I have nothing. Yeah, I'm putting the effort into noticing something, but the fact that the sun is shining, or that my fridge is working, or that the toilet flushes when I use it, on some level, it's just I'm the beneficiary of all these people that have designed this stuff, or the fact that today happens to be a beautiful day in Marin, and it's like, wow, lucky me. I didn't do anything to necessarily deserve that, if you will. And so that, I think, makes it even sweeter to then notice it and say, wow, things could have been really different, but they're actually like this right now, and I'm benefiting from it. So today, there's three doorways that I want to sort of three lenses through which I want us to practice gratitude. The first one is just the real basic slowing down and appreciating something good. And again, it could be anything, right? It could be people in our lives, or where we live, or the fact that the car just starts up whenever I, turn on the ignition. There's just noticing that something good is happening to me. The second lens is then imagining what your life would be without it. What would life be like if every time I got in the car, it didn't turn on, or I didn't know if it was going to turn on, or every time, we've all been here, right? You flush the toilet, and it's like, oh, it's not working. So, now what? So that's another doorway into appreciating something that you're noticing. And then one of my favorite ones is this idea of remembering or imagining, if this experience that you are having right now, if you knew that this was the last time that you were ever going to get to have this experience, how does that change just the preciousness of it, right? Because there's a last time for everything that we do. It's going to be a last time when we all get together, and knowing that there's going to be a last time, there's something about it sort of sweetens the moment right here, right now, where it's like, yeah, but hopefully today is not the last time. And how cool, right? It just amplifies the preciousness a little bit. So let's try it out. So close your eyes. If you're like me, crack your back. So to get comfortable, put your feet flat on the ground, feel the ground. Some level of appreciating that the ground it's always there. That's solid for the most part. For those of us here in Northern California, sometimes the ground isn't solid, and then we really appreciate how solid it is most of the time. Just appreciating the body breathing. I mean, gratitude for breath is a perfect example of everything that I'm talking about. It's like there's nothing I do to make the body breathe. I don't deserve breath. And yet here I am, the beneficiary of my lungs, my heart, my nervous system all working together to create this really fundamentally satisfying experience of breathing. And in part because breath is automatic, just happens all day long, it's really easy to take it for granted. So just taking a moment to not take it for granted. It's a magical thing that happens all day long. Noticing what it's like to slow down, making some space for quiet and stillness. And we can actually start there with our gratitude practice. So, noticing the goodness in our ability in this moment right now to actually slow down, close our eyes, make some space for stillness, maybe even some equanimity. It's so simple. On some level, it's always available to us. We just need to remember to actually take a moment, quiet the mind, feel the body. And to sweeten the experience in this moment of noticing breath coming and going and just the stillness of the moment, maybe bring to mind a situation recently where you didn't have the quiet and you were out of breath and it was really busy and really hectic. And see if or how that affects your appreciation of stillness right now. And then, of course, for all of us, there will be a last time when we get to experience quiet, stillness. None of us know when that's going to be. And see if or how that affects your appreciation for this moment right now. And shifting gears, sort of finding another object for our appreciation. Think of one of your favorite foods, and then imagine yourself preparing or eating that food. And for whatever reason, you really like that food. There's probably plenty of people in your life that don't necessarily like that food specifically, but Just noticing and appreciating how lucky for you to really enjoy the flavor, sensation of eating that food. I'm sure you've gone through periods in your life where maybe you didn't have access to that food. Maybe it's really expensive, fancy food. Just imagining your life for a moment without that food that you like so much. And I encourage you maybe later on today to really intentionally go out and get that food and prepare it. I'm sort of thinking back to this session right now, like really appreciating that you like it, that it adds value to your life, that maybe you don't need to go without it. And then as you're eating this food later today, I encourage you to imagine that if this was the last time and you knew that this was the last time that you got to eat or drink whatever you're thinking about, how much more precious will that experience be? And of course, this approach to gratitude can be applied to pretty much everything in your life. It can be big, really like obviously meaningful things, but I think, big part of the value of this kind of practice is especially found in sort of mundane things that we usually just take for granted. Just doing a meditation, even just for a few seconds as you're engaging in whatever sort of activities of daily living, just noticing like how lucky I get to experience this. How would my life be different if I didn't get to have this experience? And then what would it be like if I knew that this experience that I was having was in fact the very last time? And take a deep breath in, long, slow out breath through the mouth, relaxing the throat, the shoulders, the hands, just softening. Hold the out breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in and out. Again, relaxing the shoulders, the hands, the belly. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping eyes closed, just let the body breathe. And see if you can notice if there is any change compared to, let's say, 16 minutes ago before we started this, of what it's like to actually flex your gratitude muscles, sort of prime the nervous system, remind ourselves what it's like to intentionally choose to experience and notice gratitude, and whether or not that has an effect on your mood, sensations in the body, busyness in the mind. open your eyes, come on back. Feel free to keep going. I just realized again, it's been happening a lot this week where I'm like, oh man, it's already time. So don't let me stop you from continuing on. And yeah, I really encourage you, at some point today, go find that food that you really love and see if you can kind of recreate what we just did here, and see if or how that has an effect on you. So appreciate you all. Hope to see you tomorrow.